reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
What's up, everybody? It's Horror Deconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Hit that thumbs up. Let the people know you listen to the show with your host, Komp and...
Josie Packard turning into a doorknob.
as well as...
T.
And today's film is...
Terrifier 2 2022.
Terrifier 2 2022, not rated after being resurrected by a sinister entity. Art the Clown returns to... What's so funny?
Is it really not rated?
That's what it says, yeah. It makes sense.
It says R
Art the
on
Clown
IMDb.
returns to the timid town of Miles County, where he targets a teenage girl and her younger brother on Halloween night. I know me and Danny are going to laugh about that teenage girl part, because we'll explain that later. Directed and written by Damien Leone. Hey, get out of here. Starring David Howard Thornton, excuse me. Jenna Cannell's from the first movie. Lauren Lavera, as well as... Who's that little boy? That little boy
Elliot
that runs around.
Fulham.
Is that his name? Yeah, he
Yeah,
he
also, I don't know if
interviews
you guys
punk and
caught
metal
it,
people.
but the kid from Psycho Gorman was in there for like 2 seconds.
Is he? Oh, cool. Oh, is he one of the
Yeah.
asshole kids who was
He's
looking
one
at
of the
that
ones,
dead
no,
possum?
he's one of the ones poking at the possum.
That's exactly what I just said.
Oh,
So,
what? I didn't listen to you.
why did
One of
we
the asshole
pick...
kids.
Why did we pick Terrifier 2? Thea.
I don't know, man. Because it's out. Because it's brand
Boy,
new, and I
Thea
think
had
you
a-
guys watched the first one together, probably.
Did you see the first
Yes.
one?
I've seen parts of the first one.
Okay,
I
so
did
just a
I
general
watched
thing,
recap
because let's
ahead of
give
watching
you a
this.
little 5 seconds or 5 minutes to
Okay.
or 2 minutes to talk about what your thoughts of what you've seen of Terrifier 1, the very female friendly movie.
I had seen All Hallows Eve, which is what he did before.
Oof! Yikes! Okay,
But like that gives you kind of like a bar for what he likes to
it's not that
do.
bad. It's
So-
really bad. Go ahead.
So I already knew kind of what I was in for, and then I said
Uh-huh.
I would just watch a recap of the first one. Then I was like, oh yes, this is the one where they saw a woman in half from her vagina down. Got
yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Now thinking about
I
All
don't know.
Hallows.
It just I feel like because he does so much gore in everything he does, it just I after the
Numb
first
to
like,
it?
10 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is all like the same to me.
I do like, though, how relentlessly brutal he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with the Terrifier movies with Damien Leone. I think he likes women in real life. I assume he does, and just by just from the
hope.
project he does. And this is not you can't watch a movie because a woman gets killed in it. Like, women are killed every day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this is not a movie where we be
He
like, I
does kill
can't.
guys, too, though.
Yeah, I know, and he kills a guy. I think it was very purposefully why he cut the guy's dick off in this movie, and I'll get to that. Because the thing is, with a lot of these movies, you never know what's going on with people in general, because like the first, I think what people think is really offensive, and the kind of like one of the sacred goat is a sacred lamb. Yeah, I was gonna say sacred goat, sacred lambs of like horror films, is that like, if anything traumatic happens to a woman, there's gonna be a lot of people on the internet going, "Oh, you can't fucking do that in the movie. This is horrible." Because not that it
There
fucking
has to be
happens in real
revenge,
life.
that's all.
Because like a film, like suddenly people will put a importance on a film that either it's gonna impart some sort of message to people to, yeah, you should do violence towards women, or you shouldn't do violence towards women. You should never do fucking violence towards anyone in any place anyway. But it's how you
Then they
receive
shouldn't
this
watch
material.
horror.
So with the first All Hallows Eve, where they had that little short where Art the Clown, played by a different actor in the original movie, as I think he became like an anti-vaxxer guy or something like that, and he like the way I'm sure Art would be anti-vaxxer too, just to make sure, but he's anti-life actually. But Art in that one, like they try to make it like a grindhouse sort of short where Art is just like always chasing this woman. You can hear this in our review of the two films. And at the end, like the big, scary, spookier, disgusting part, I guess supposed to be the offensive part, is this woman is chopped up on a bed, right? And she has like all these phrases of like women on her, like or negative phrases like bitch
yes,
and
yeah.
the C word. And I
Slut,
think that's
whatever.
supposed to be like, oh, like it's like supposed to be edgy. You know what I mean? It's like that's edgy because you're not supposed to say that about women in general and stuff
I
like that.
agree. The first two movies felt like like the guy's trying to be edgy and shocking for the sake of it. This actually felt like a real movie, though.
Right. Yes. And in Terrifier 1, and here's the thing with Terrifier movies, I think it actually has good actors in it, especially fucking the guy playing Art the Clown is fucking, like, he's incredible. Like, I think he's great. Like, it's hard to find a new slasher villain in a movie. And plus, every new movie nowadays is a fucking Conjuring ripoff, where it's like, it's just like, oh, look, it's a nun coming through a photograph, and it's so sleekly shot. Oh boy, I'm scared. And none of the monsters really have any personalities. Maybe Pennywise is the last one, but that movie too, for the last two It movies were fucking so clean looking. It didn't, it was just like whatever. The guy playing the clown was great. Like Pennywise was great in that one, but it's just like, who gives a shit? It was just a boring type of film for me, at least. And at least the thing that they're doing with this, Art the Clown actually feels like a actual slasher, like an iconic, dangerous, iconic character.
Oh yeah,
but
I would not want him haunting me.
But there is one thing about the first one that there's two things that bother me about the first Terrifier movie, is that these movies are only like $300,000 budgets. They're very fucking cheap, and they shoot them run and gun style. Like, they don't do paperwork. They literally go to a store and be like, hey, can we film here? And they go, sure, whatever. Which I fucking love that part of it.
Yeah, this movie had a $250,000 budget.
This one had this one has $375,000 budget, and it made
I'm
five.
Looking at it right now on Wiki.
Okay, I read what the director wrote somewhere else, so maybe it's wrong.
Okay, maybe.
But no. But it's made $5 million so far. This is my only problem with the Terrifier production wise, is it's shot like a YouTube movie, as in This is what I was telling Thea before we watched this. That's my only problem, and that's whatever. That's just the director's choice.
I know what you mean, though. I think it's shot pretty cool.
No, here's a difference with the movie. Everything is mediums and not even close-ups, right? This is just
close-ups when he's
I get it.
That girl's
listen to me,
back
Danny. Listen to me.
But we're always close to things. It's never like a wide shot.
Yeah, it's always a weird. It's always like a weird right. It's always a weird medium shot. It's a weird medium shot. Every character is just medium, and there's no cinematic flow to the look of the movie. And listen to me.
Yeah.
People aren't coming to see Terrifier to see fucking beautiful artistic shots.
No,
they're not.
Yeah, artistic shots will never hurt any movie.
I get it. This is my problem. This is my nitpick.
But he's not a director first, right? He is a special effects guy first.
Yeah,
that is what he's really, really good at and really imaginative about, and obviously very talented at. He is not as talented directing wise.
Right, because when I was
agree with that.
when I was watching this, the only part of this film, and I'm telling you, it like bugged me out. The only time it looked any cinematic at all was the last 5 minutes with the woman walking through the hospital at night. Because then there was a dolly shot and a zoom and I was like, this looks like a fucking movie. What the hell happens? And he shot that weeks after. Because originally...
Right, when he had time, right?
Originally, the film ended with the woman, the back of her head with art.
The woman that works in that.
Okay, let me finish.
So hot.
She is. She's also the clown. She's also the clown girl, the one that's singing in that.
Oh, really?
Clown song. We'll get to that. But the original ending of Terrifier 2 with I think it was Veronica or Victoria, whoever the lady from the first one.
I think Victoria.
Victoria Hayes. The back of her head was supposed to have art coming out of it, but the director heard about Malignant, so he had to change it to a birthing scene, which I think is probably better for that. So that's, to me, my only issue with that. Also, I don't know what the second problem was, but I didn't like the first movie. Oh, the other problem with the movie is that it was stuck to one location and became sort of a general slasher movie where it was since it wasn't really really cinematic looking enough. It wasn't good to hold down to. You don't know where the rooms are in this building.
Also, Angela Baker was in this one.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds. Yeah, and my big problem with the ending of the first one, which to me it didn't really take away the danger from the first one, is that you made art supernatural at the end, and to me that's
supernatural in the prequels too.
Yeah, but I'm watching the first one as a movie itself, where he gets shot and then he comes back as a ghost at the end of it, or whatever the fuck he is.
Right.
So that to me is the biggest problem with this second film for me. But that's just writing and
well, you don't
directing
like that he's supernatural?
I think that was dangerous where it was just like a regular guy. To me.
No, I like.
There's nothing you can really do with this
stuff.
type of film with a slasher. You got to kill them and they'll come back. That's just how it is in these type of films. But
What do you think?
Thea,
Thea, better supernatural or better human?
I mean, I like a flavor of the supernatural.
Okay.
It seems like that would fit with what he is, kind of, to me. Although I didn't mind, like, I'm not a big slasher, straight up and down slasher kind of person. I always like supernatural stuff. But it just wasn't enough almost.
I came to terms with him being supernatural. That's fine. It's the stuff that they did with the woman, with the girl character, that I thought was like, uh-oh. So, Thea, why don't you set up the premise for this second film? What is going on with it?
So, I guess at the end of the last one and the beginning of this one, he's kind of resurrected. It says, in the wiki, it says, by an unknown entity. There's like electricity and stuff, and he kills the guy in the morgue. Mm-hmm. This is following, I guess, the events right after his previous massacre. And then he goes to the laundromat after to clean his blood-soaked costume.
I love
and
that
also
scene.
he starts to hallucinate like a small girl version of him, basically.
Yeah.
Who becomes his counterpart for the movie. Sometimes she can be seen by other people and sometimes she can't.
Great.
So we don't really know how real she is.
She can only be seen by the main characters.
Right,
Yes.
so like the sister and the brother,
Yeah.
and then everybody else can't see. They can just see him.
A great design for that little girl also.
Yeah, she looked great.
Damien Leone is, I guess, primarily a special effects guy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But he wrote this movie, too.
Yeah, I know, Danny. He
Yeah.
did everything. We said
Wrote
that at
and
the beginning of the
directed, yeah.
episode. Fantastic.
Fuck you.
Fantastic design of art, because I think I was listening to this show called The Boo Crew, which is a podcast where they interview directors and horror people. And he said basically one of the biggest inspirations for art was Pennywise. But he said, I have to make this guy not look like Pennywise. Like,
Right.
And he went the opposite route. He went sort of a mime from, I guess, the olden days. Fantastic design. Like, you could see the difference between art in All Hallows Eve and art in this, with the scowl on the face. Like, this fucking guy is so good at playing Art the Clown. Like, that's where there's no fault in this movie. Like, they didn't fuck up once with this character and how he acts and everything. And even the little girl that follows him around is supposedly, I guess, a demon. When I'm listening to the interviews about it, she's
Well,
like,
it was like his first murder victim, I heard.
they flashed that up, right? It's like a
Yeah.
little 10-year-old girl that's killed. You see her in the newspapers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was sort of unclear on the origin stories a bit, and then I was like, is it actually their dad or something?
Yeah, I think
Right.
that was a theory,
Confusing.
Thea. I think
Yeah.
they were theorizing that the dad created him and also
Yeah.
made his daughter have powers using like mental powers or something.
Which I think would be
Yeah.
interesting, but like I think the less said, the better about Art's origin or whatever, to keep him creepy. Because if you start giving too much information, then it becomes
Yeah.
not like Pinhead was, where he was like, oh, he was an army guy, and then he played with the box,
Yeah.
and you're like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
no thank you. But I gotta say, like, the stuff with that motherfucker is so talented. Playing Art the Clown, just the part where he's in the laundromat and he's cleaning a suit, and that whole part is funny. Where he's like,
the
just
patty cake, I love that. Yeah.
yeah, and just his reaction, like you see him sit, and the camera does a pan to the right where you see the girl sitting in the chair, and just his like his body movement and his acting is so good. Like, this guy is A-list level of like performance artist. Because I was listening about, in the interview with him and the director, and like who he's worked for before with, and it's just like he's so fucking good that like now this character can't exist without him. He's essentially how Doug Bradley is. Well, I guess Pinhead now has a new player.
Apparently,
but it's like,
he's going to be playing the Joker in something called Nightwing Escalation, which is Robin turns into Nightwing in the comics.
this
Wow.
guy should be in like A-list movies. That's what I'm saying. Like, this guy needs to be, and that's not, and he should always play Art the Clown, obviously. And I like that he and the director actually talk about the character, because Leone writes it, but then he's basically saying, you don't have any lines in this movie, so we can kind of come up with what you do as the character, which is great.
No, he does a great job, though.
He's a
Yeah.
great. If there's anything about any film, and the horror movies, the slashers rely on the slasher character, and this is a movie that is absolutely built on who this guy is, and that's what I like about this film. And I like for the fact that you do not get this level of gore in any other type of slasher movie nowadays. Even when we just spoke about Halloween Ends, there's like somebody will get hit by a hammer and it goes off screen.
$30 million budget.
Yeah,
Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
and it did like half the special effects of this movie.
But that's the thing is that
for like $300,000 or whatever.
While this film plays in theaters, it would not get the amount of push as a sort of a general slasher movie because people are scared to see gore, like lots of gore. I mean,
there was a point where I actually couldn't look. I was like, I forced myself to, but I was covering my face a little bit. Like, oh my God, when he was like cutting up the friend Allie or whatever in her bedroom. Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
that's really
that was very uncomfortable, and it lasted for like 5 minutes.
Because people are so scared about like the gore in this film, but like the gore in here is like cartoonish. You know what I mean? It's like over the top, and it is disgusting, and it is like really like holy fuck. But it's not like, say, like Martyrs. Do you know, like, remember that French movie Martyrs?
Yeah.
Where it was like, the gore in that was like...
I remember.
Yeah, the gore in that was like the aftermath, and you're just like, holy shit, this is depressing.
Yeah.
But in here...
That one's like
cuts
too
her
real.
arm with a box cutter in that movie. Oh, my God.
Just everything.
Everybody go see the French version of Martyrs.
I can't watch it again. Like, I have not watched it since I watched it. I don't think I will ever
be able to watch It's my favorite horror movie of all time.
Go watch the terrible American remake.
No, don't... Right? Nobody should know about that.
No, don't watch that. I'm joking.
Does this have a kill equal to the woman being bisected in the first film? The one Catherine Corcoran?
Yeah, that fucking scene where he's killing the friend.
The friend.
Originally, I didn't think so,
close.
But then I thought, that was pretty brutal how he killed that. That's a tough one to follow. Honestly, that is a really tough kill to follow because it's so iconic in that first movie. Because you never saw that really in any. I'm sure it was in something, but it's not as effective. And the great thing about Leon is that since he's an effects guy, the gore graphics are fucking incredible. This is my problem with a lot of FX guys who direct movies is that the movies usually fucking suck. It's only very rarely like a James Cameron will know how to fucking do it.
Skin Deep one or something.
Yeah, Skin Deep. Remember the bowling ball movie that we saw?
Oh, that was terrible. Yeah.
Where it was like 20 minutes of like a sexual assault scene for no reason, and it was just like, what is this stupid movie? And it had this guy with a very obvious.
But this guy's a fairly talented.
This guy's more talented.
He's a pretty decent director.
I think. With time, he's getting better as a writer. I think
he should probably hire a cinematographer, though, like you said.
Yeah, I think with these series of films, I think he needs a cinematographer and a co-writer, like somebody who can like bunch it all together. Because honestly, I just was not into the lead character in this role suddenly having superpowers at the end, and because her dad had a tumor, he was able to
that's fair.
Have premonitions of, and you can be like, oh fuck you, you know.
Well, he might have made Art the Clown.
I know, but I'm saying like the girl from Nightmare on Elm Street, she had some sort of psychic, connection with Freddy. But like to me, that doesn't work with this type of film. Like to me, I was just like, what? It's like a magnificent ass pull where you just suddenly like have powers at the end of a movie to take on a bad guy. And it's like, but what's that about? Like I don't know what the.
Well, to be fair, they did hint at that sword like 80 times in the movie.
I know, and I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, but I was like, please don't do this.
Like very heavily handed with the sword.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew she was gonna kick his ass towards the end. I knew that was gonna happen. Like I was surprised when he drowned her at the end because I was like, oh wait a minute, okay, so maybe this is going somewhere. But then she had the magic Valkyrie
is that like
powers.
Hell where she was in the dream?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, like
that's the thing. It's like I like some supernatural elements, but when they're so like foggy, sort of how we're supposed to put these pieces together. I don't know. Like
so, Danny, let's talk about Lauren Lavera, who plays Sienna. What was the shocking fact that you found about her before you saw this episode?
Okay, so I thought
let's hear Danny being ageist.
I thought she was really hot, and I was like, I better look up how old she is. Before I mention,
she's playing like a college character.
Like
she's playing like a collegiate.
She's like 44.
What?
She's 44. She was born in 1978. Yeah.
So apparently,
What?
She says she's not that age. She says she's younger, but that's the unfortunate thing about actors.
I've seen two different sources that said she was born in 1978.
Yeah, so some people say 44, some people say 42. She's also like a martial artist because I was watching a reel of her doing karate for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand it. I mean, don't think
she's 44 though. She's like a vampire.
Yeah, I don't think she's in her 40s. And this is kind of whack that we're having this conversation anyway. It's just that it's not in a bad way. You know what I mean? It was just like, holy shit.
I'm not saying anything bad.
No. So, well, but that's the whole thing. Women will listen, or anybody will listen to this and be like, "Well, why are you talking? You worried about her age?"
Because we're fucking horny pigs.
Speak for yourself, Danny. I'm a horny creep, not a pig. So yeah, Lauren Lavera is great in this. She has a dope look. I guess she's playing like a 20-year-old, 21-year-old character in this film. Every like the first.
Aren't they in high school? They're in high school.
Is she? I thought she was like a college character.
No, the brother is. I don't think she is. No.
Right.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit older because she's like I'm not sure, but anyway, she's great in the role. I think she's great as Sienna. She's even her brother, who I don't even think is an actor. I thought he was good for this. The kid who Elliot Fulham. Like at the beginning, I was like, oh. But the more and more you like hear about his character, and he's like kind of awkward, and he's not like the traditional like, hey man.
He worked for what it was supposed to be.
Right.
There was like one or two parts in the movie where somebody did bad acting, but it was like minor characters.
Yeah, I think the brother Jonathan, like, I liked that idea, the unknown thing, like maybe he's going to be like a school shooter or something. I liked that. Mm-hmm. I like that they put that in the story.
Because like school shooters?
No, I do not.
That's what it is.
I like school lunches. Yeah. But, I think they worked as relatives.
I like Schoolhouse Rocks.
I was surprised by the mom. The mom was the most realistic character in this film. Because, that mother, she was good. I don't know.
Very quick side question. Thea, do you know Schoolhouse Rocks?
Like the show?
Yeah.
From back in the day? I mean, I know of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were exposed to
that. What's that guy doing?
I don't know if it was actually if I actually watched it as a kid. Probably not. But I'd seen clips. Yeah.
Okay, that was important.
Anyway, let's this violent movie.
I really enjoyed that the mother was like sick of. I think it's Sarah Voight who plays the mother, plays Barbara. Mm-hmm. I love that she was just tired of everybody's shit throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
She was just not having it.
She's like, my husband's dead. I don't have time for this.
If you told me that was like a Puerto Rican mother, I would believe it in a second. Because I'm Latino and I'm like, yes, this sounds right. I was like, but the thing is, Damien Leone, I think he's Italian, so maybe his mother was probably that way too. Because he said
same vibes.
He probably brought a lot of these characters. He said that he wrote a lot of these the main characters, the good characters from his life. So maybe that is like a mother who's like, I'm not gonna take your shit. Because if you have a strong mom like that, they'll keep you in fucking check. And I ended up liking her character, and I was like, oh fuck, when they blew her face off, because I knew it was coming. Like, with Terrifier, that's going to happen. Like, anybody who's even, like, a semblance of a regular person is going to get blown away in this movie.
Yeah.
But let's also focus now on her, Sienna's friends, her unfortunate friends that get sent to hell in this movie, Casey Hartnett and...
one of them deserved to die, to be fair.
Well, she drugs other girls.
The one that spiked her with Molly.
What the fuck is that?
Poor Allie.
Not great.
Boy, does Allie get it badly in this movie. She gets She
didn't really do anything.
No, she didn't.
She was rude though. She threw candy at him.
But she gets. Can you, Danny? What did he do to her in this movie? I think my mind tried to block it out.
He basically skinned her.
Yeah. I came back into the room and
brutal.
And he started putting salt on her and Clorox.
The bleach and the salt.
Oh my god! Just the rubbing the salt.
It's just that it's so over the top. It's funny. Unfortunately, there's somebody jerking off to that scene. But the great part is when the part that really creeped me out. Right. The part that really fucked me up is when he's in the bed with her and the mother runs into the room. Yes. And then they decide to make her still be alive with like puppeteering.
Mom. Yeah.
Because what they did is they did an effect. Because I was like, how the fuck did they do this? Because I thought it was like, wow, that eye on the dummy looks like. I was like, is that her face? But her neck wasn't connected into anything. So they digitally put her real eye on that toy's face. So the part when she like wakes up and her armless, it's not like a human being movement. It looks like a robot. But that's what made it even creepy. It gives me the fucking willies just talking about that because when
it moves like that, it's like almost worse than
it is like because then you hear like a little audio thing like and I was like, ooh, like that shit gave me the fucking willy. It was disturbing to look at that.
Yeah, that was like a top kill of like any.
It was pretty. Yeah, it is rough because he has to live up to that first kill, and I think he did well because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, all right, but then like thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that was really fucking bad.
It's respectable how relentlessly violent he is, like it's nonstop.
Yeah, and something that I really like that might not be like a main thing for people is that when Art is like laughing or doing stuff, they don't put any sound effects You know, because in a Hollywood movie, when he laughs, you hear like honk honk, you know, shit like that. In this one, it's just silence whenever he's like laughing at people.
Yeah,
I love that. I don't know what it is about that, but I love that you don't hear anything about it. It's more like, oh boy, this motherfucker's fucked. So I don't know what else to really talk about this movie. Like Chris Jericho's in it, I guess, if you like wrestling.
What are your complaints about the movie, guys?
Like I said, the cinematic quality of the film itself. The look of it, just the look of it is not my thing. But
what about you?
I mean, he attempted a story. It still doesn't totally make sense.
Right.
I don't know if he'll ever have a story that makes sense.
I'm sure in the third one they'll make it,
because it's not really what the movie's for.
Also, with the clown cafe stuff, Thea, you might. I think you might know about this. Yeah, I don't even.
That part.
That was a long sequence.
I don't even think it should have been in the fucking. I mean, it informs the ending of the film, like what happens towards the end.
That could have been, but that could have been like
the hell part was better.
It could have been like a 45-second dream sequence and been very effective.
The hell version of that
5 minutes long.
The hell version of that scene is fucking great. Like the hell version of it, where the people are like all fucked up.
Yeah.
But when I first saw it, I was like, that's when you really saw the budget, because I think it's supposed to take place outside, and it's like.
Right.
I don't know.
And I had a theory when I first saw it, because it's all these adults like and kids, like a little park, like playground for kids. And I was like, was this originally supposed to be like actual children? And because of like Uvalde and high school and shit like that getting shot up, they changed it because Art kills everybody with a fucking Uzi at the end of it.
Well, it's also just like which parents want their kids like.
There was a kid that dies in the scene who eats the cereal and gets killed. So I mean, like
that's true.
But his scene wasn't graphic.
Than being shot by a machine gun.
But then, like, I heard that the people that were actually in that scene put into the crowdfunding. So I was like, so maybe it wasn't supposed to be kids. I think the scene. I thought maybe the scene obviously should have been cut down. And I think like because the part where the nun is like, oh, feed this man.
I think the whole movie could have been cut down by like at least like 20 minutes.
I didn't have a problem with being too long, but that scene for me was like unnecessary. But like, what was my problem? Oh, the song, the Clown Cafe song that the girl sings. You know, the hot nurse from the ending of the movie. She plays a clown at the beginning. That song was written by Lego Lambs, the guys who wrote the what is that? Silence of the Lambs, the musical. If you go on their YouTube, they do musicals based on like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and it's incredible. They're really fucking talented like musician guys, and they do a lot of music for films.
What? I don't believe you.
Okay, but they wrote that scene.
Thea, I don't believe him. Do you?
I think that's the only scene that could have been.
He's lying.
I think that's the only scene that could have been cut down like a lot. The rest of the film, it does drag a lot, and there's like a lot of unnecessary things. But the people come to this movie to have a gore fest. That's what this movie is. So I don't blame them enjoying it. I'm glad that this motherfucker got $5 million from making this movie, or hopefully more, because and I hope they do not. I hope they do not buy the rights for this film, because you're just gonna see this shit get watered down. He will not even fucking kill a woman on camera if they like Universal Studios or if Universal like bought this. Art would like throw a hammer at somebody and you'll just see the shadow of them getting killed. Because like this is what these movies are. This is what you want to see. You want to see a gore fest. And it's a better than average effects director doing a film. Because like Laid to Rest was fucking whack. That bowling ball movie that I saw.
Oh, that was the one with the metal face, right?
Gutter Balls was stupid. It had good gore in it. Gutter Balls was the one about unfortunately, the director of Gutter Balls is a young guy, and he fucking died of cancer. So there's no gutter. They shot a Gutter Balls 2, and it's never going to be released, unfortunately. I would have wanted to watch it just because the graphics are great. August Underground Mortem, which is people who do special effects. Those are like, people love those movies, and those are like the worst like found footage gore movies, but the best gore in any of those movies. My opinion. But with this one, I think he does a great job. Like if you're looking past the sort of snobby shit that I'm saying, where it doesn't look like a film, and you want to see an action like. Not action-y, but a horror movie. I actually wish there were more deaths in the movie, honestly. I think that I was surprised that it wasn't like Halloween Kills, where it had like hundreds of people getting killed.
Perfect level.
I guess. I liked the part where Art was giving out candy in the woman's head, and the little,
that was great.
The little fat kid tries to stick more candy, slaps the kid's hand. I was laughing so hard at that shit. I watched it 5 times, that part.
It seems kids are safe from him.
Yeah,
well, unless you're the brother.
Do you guys think this is a misogynistic movie, or do you think it's just edgy because women aren't supposed to be killed like this in horror movies?
I mean, personally, I don't think so. But Thea,
yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's just he just likes doing edgy kills. Like I feel like he just pictures kills.
Yeah, because I mean, like women
do SFX wise.
Women are the primary sort of victims in slasher movies. So what the fuck are you gonna do about it? You know, that's just how it is in those movies. And I think there was a point made where he cuts that guy's dick off graphically to be like, hey, look, well, he cuts this guy's dick off.
Men could die too. Well, and he goes after the brother and also the guy in the store. Like, there's lots of male victims.
He keeps kicking that little.
So I don't know. I don't find it specifically misogynistic.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I think that's just gonna be a knee-jerk reaction for people.
Also, I love the redesign of Victoria at the end.
Oh, when she's the Valkyrie. Oh no, the
face all fucked up.
Oh, okay, right.
Birth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is such a dope. I remember when the first movie when they reveal her face, I was like, "Oh my god." Like I was like, "Jesus Christ." I think they fucked up by not making her like a Ripley character. Cuz how great if Victoria was like
Well, now I guess she's kind of
like she's in league with him. I think that was a fuck up by saying, "Oh, she loves art." I think that is such a bad idea compared to the first movie, because in the first movie, the woman, her sister, was like the primary character, Jenna Cannell, whose feet I worship at because she's incredible. She's just so fucking fine. That woman in the first movie when she got killed, I was like, God damn it. That's probably why I really hate that first movie. But her sister gets mangled in the first movie, and she has that face in the beginning of this one. And I was like, how dope would it be if she was like, instead of having a traditional sort of Laurie Strode, you have this woman whose face is beyond obliterated, hunting art down. Like, how fucking dope? Like, how dope would that be if just like?
Yeah, but how could she hunt him down? He's like a demon.
I know, but if this girl got fucking psychic superpowers at the end by drowning, come on, you could do something with this woman. But otherwise than that, I think with whatever little faults that I have, the thing I'll give is that this is entertaining. Fucking Leone working with David Howard Thornton, they have created a modern fucking slasher classic character. Like, there's no question about it that this character is dope. You could have gone really shitty with any clown character, and they didn't. Like, Pennywise was the last clown that we saw. You don't really see clown horror.
I remember being like reluctant to watch it because it's like, how many more clowns can there be? But like, no, they did it.
He does it justice. My only frou-frou for the complaint is the fucking it's 3 complaints, which is a cinematic eye. The writing needs to be fixed. It doesn't need to be so much ass pulling in it, and I think that's about it. But other than that, I don't. Do you guys have any really big negative aspects about these Terrifier movies?
Too long. That's all. Too long.
I think he's certainly grown as a writer, Damien Leone, and as a director. Hopefully, it gets a little bit more. Hopefully, he gets a budget where they can afford, better camera work and stuff like that.
The thing is, he doesn't even need a fucking budget. He just needs maybe a better camera and,
Does anybody know where Miles County is? Because I didn't know where the first movie was. I thought it was like somewhere like Seattle or some fucking out there. But while watching
in New Jersey.
Is it Miles County is in Jersey? Okay, because I know they filmed this movie in Jersey. Because I was watching the movie where they kill that one guy, the guy who works at Abracadabra's a New York store. So I'm watching, and the guy has a shirt on that says Abracadabra New York. I was like, I was in the store, like I filmed the store. I know where this place is. Like, where are they saying the store is at? But
well, if they're in like Jersey City, it's not hard to get to the city.
And by the way, if you ever are in New York City, Abracadabra is such a dope fucking store. It's basically
we've gone there together, right?
No, it's basically I went for the first time like last year. It's basically Spirit New York. Spirit Halloween, like for the whole year.
Didn't I go there to buy like a fucking flamethrower thing for your hand that you hide in your hand? I swear I did.
Okay. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Magic trick.
Sure.
Are you being serious with me?
Yeah, I'm being serious. I bought it's like a ring that you wear on your finger inside your hand, and then you make a flame.
You're saying I did this?
No, I.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're like, Danny's having a mental problem or something.
That, and I think you went with me. I thought, but I guess not.
There's no chance that I did that. This is the first time Danny's having a mental break or something. I don't know. Danny went by him. I bet you Danny went to the bathroom and thought it was Abracadabra. Oh, that was a great store. Anyway, okay, so Thea, you didn't have any huge gigantic problems with this film, or?
No, I mean it's not my cup of tea.
Okay.
As far as like horror movies go, like I'm not a big
exploitation.
I like gore, but like I'm not. It's not the thing that I look for in a movie.
Sure.
I look for like kind of story first.
Right.
So it's not my thing, but it's a very good. It's good for what it is for the people that really like that aspect of horror.
I think what happens is like because I don't rely on gore in a horror film to be entertained by it. Like first things first is the writing, and but the thing is like I went in ahead because I knew what the first movie was. Like watching it, you're here to watch the gore effects.
And based on All Hallows Eve, I pretty much knew what I was getting into.
Yeah,
so on that level, I was pleasantly surprised by how much story and character was in it.
Yes, that it was a little bit, and it was like different places and different shit was happening as opposed to just running around in one building like really like poorly. Like, and I think the part where you could tell is like an edgy writer is the part where an art I think rips off the woman's breasts in the first movie, and he walks around naked with her naked body. It was just like, to me, I thought that was the most stupidest shit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I like Danny laughed at it. I thought it was great, and I was like, this is the stupidest shit I'm looking at, right? Because it's like you can tell when somebody's being edgy on purpose. Like,
I just like the idea.
Look at me go!
So gleefully violent. It's
like
great.
The first one actually still is a little bit more edgier than this film, so I'm glad he like pulled back because that edgy shit is just like, oh please, come on! Like if there was more organic,
it gets boring. It's like okay, we get it. Like oh, how far will he go this time?
But I think it's. The little girl
leaning into the creativity is more fun.
They just created a new Halloween costume by introducing that little girl. The little girl was fucking great as the character. When her eyes are glowing in the dark, I was like, oh boy, this is fucking disturbing. She's great. Scary. So I mean, like, I think this is a major step up with Leone's films. So hopefully he just keeps getting better and better, and I hope they give him I hope he gets more of a budget for the next film because obviously he got a lot of money out of this one. I hope he's fucking rich, and I hope it doesn't make him lazy. And I hope this drives him to do much more grotesque shit. I just hope
I hope he never sells it to a big studio though, because it's the end, like you said.
I think they'll remake it. They'll remake it and call it Gentrifier, and it's about Art the Clown kicking out all the people of color from buildings.
He invites Amazon to open up a warehouse and gets all the locals to have to
instead of hitting them with hammers.
To live there
he doesn't beat them with hammers. He makes them pay more rent and shit.
And he opens up like a cafe and like charges like $5 for like a coffee.
So Danny, what rating would you give Terrifier 2 2022?
I'm gonna give this a 9. I really liked it. A 9 out of 10. Having your face removed and then queefing out a clown head.
Yeah, oof. I would give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Meaning a little girl who's a clown just like you, and instantly her shitting herself. Thea, what rating would you give Terrifier 2? Thea, you know what this type of movie is once that scene just pops up. Thea, what rating would you give Terrifier 2 2022?
That's what you stole my thing. That was
did I? Oops.
Thing. I'm gonna give it, and this is a subjective review for people who like gore. I would say an 8 out of 10. Musical sing-along dream where a machine gun clown kills all your friends.
See, that's better. Okay. And with that, Thea, what's the final word?
Juice.
Danny, hey, wait a minute. You're not a fan of Kanye, are you? Danny, what's the final word?
Because you said juice.
Danny, what's the final word?
Sauerkraut.